Muslim.
Top of the day, ladies and gentlemen. I want to make something very, very clear. I am a Muslim that did not do the Muslim ticket. I am a Muslim that is not going to...
The marginalization of northern Nigeria, the entire region, by President Tinubu's administration is real. I'm from the...
Hello and what's up, guys? In this video, something explosive have just dropped from the north and it is shaking the political table hard. A top northern analyst has blasted President Tinubu, accusing him of using religion as a trap to secure support during the 2023 elections. According to this analyst, the Muslim ticket wasn't just a political strategy, it was a deliberate trick, and now he says it is the same northern Muslim who are paying the highest price under Tinubu's rule. But that's only the beginning. He revealed how the government is marginalizing the north, pointing to the massive $21 billion loan recently approved. Out of that, Lagos alone is getting billions for projects like the Blue Line Railway, while major northern projects like the Ajaokuta, Kaduna, Kano gas pipeline are still crawling year after year with no clear progress. He asks a tough question: why should Lagos remain the only center for development while the north remains trapped in poverty? The analyst didn't stop there. He described some of Tinubu's flagship project in the north as fake and counterfeit, mere propaganda dressed up as achievements. He warned that northern farmlands are being abandoned because of insecurity, with bandits and foreign militia taking over entire villages. Yet officials keep insisting that security is improving. He also criticized the administration for controversial appointments, saying key positions meant for northerners are being handed elsewhere. And then came the shocking claim. On the eve of Tinubu's trip to the Vatican, his team proudly announced that most of his appointments were Christians, a move described as divisive and insulting. Guys, this revelation raised very serious questions. Was religion truly used to deceive the north? Is the religion now being pushed aside in Nigeria's development story? I will let you watch this video for yourself so you can see exactly what I am talking about. Also, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Take a look, guys, and remember to share your thoughts after watching.
Let's start with your 2 cents on the allegations and counter allegations, the claims and counter claims about what the Tinubu administration has been up to, the accusations of marginalization, and what you heard from the 2-day event in Kaduna.
Well, the marginalization is good to be here anyway. The marginalization of northern Nigeria, the entire region, by President Tinubu's administration is real. I'm from the far north. I'm from Kebbi. You see, it's not just in terms of appointments. Almost all of the financial and economic projects of importance are being implemented down south, particularly Lagos. If you even see the $21 billion loan that he has just been approved for him by the National Assembly, you will see that Lagos alone has about anything between $4 to $5 billion part of the loan going there, for what they call the Blue Line Railway, and some other projects around Lekki. So if on the other hand you look at the projects that are quite dear, that are quite central to the economic development of northern Nigeria, you see that they are not making the required progress.
Isn't Lagos our financial and commercial capital? Doesn't it make sense to invest in your commercial nerve center so that you can get the returns on that investment as soon as possible?
It makes sense to invest everywhere in the country, equitably and fairly. Lagos shouldn't by all means remain the only commercial center. Why can't you develop 2 commercial or 1 other commercial center in the southeast?
Kano, Kaduna, Abuja rail.
Very good question. So the Kano, Kaduna, the Abuja, Kaduna, Kano, Maradi railway, they should be telling us, okay, the project is 70% or 75% completed. So far we have run it from here to there. But they just tell you that it's ongoing. So where are we with it? If you talk about AKK, that's the Ajaokuta, Kaduna, Kano pipeline, gas pipeline, which is very important because it's going to allow the establishment of power projects, power plants, which we necessarily need if we want to reindustrialize. The AKK, somebody just said it just crossed the Naija, that it had just crossed the Naija.
Which according to the minister is a significant threshold.
Exactly.
Crossing the Naija is a significant threshold.
Yeah, but crossing the Naija to where? What is the big deal? Why can't you complete it? It's been going on for 3-4 years. It's just digging the earth and laying pipes. What's the big deal in that?
But knowing what you know about the governance process, about limited funding and how long these projects
There is no limited funding. There is no limited funding.
Yeah, but have you ever seen a white elephant project, as some of the ones that the administration is currently pursuing, being completed in less than a year?
Okay, so you agree it's white elephant project?
No, I'm saying that's how a lot of people would categorize
That's what
it,
they are. That's what they are. For all the noise about the so-called Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, they just claim to have built 30 kilometers, and that was what the president commissioned. And then if you talk about the so-called Sokoto-Badagry highway, that one is a non-starter. It's fake. It's counterfeit as far as I'm concerned. I'm from Kebbi. All I saw them doing was turning off the earth and actually sending dust into the villages, the settlements around. There has been no 1 kilometer of Sokoto-Badagry that has been built. It's all noise.
The SGF and some of the key government officials, Minister of Information was there, the NSA was there, the Chief of Defense was there, the Governor of Kaduna State spoke, the Governor of Gombe State, who is the Chairman of the Northern Governors Forum, also spoke and said, listen, while it is in their nature to ask for more or to call on the federal government to really take a second look at the northern part of the country, there is an admission on their part to say that, listen, something is actually happening, as opposed to what people like you are saying, that nothing is happening.
Okay, something is happening. What is happening?
Well, for instance, the National Security Advisor says security is improving greatly.
Security is not improving because I just saw it on a video clip that some farmers just around Kaduna, just outside Katsina, I don't know who did it, but I saw the maize that they planted ripped off from the ground.
I mean, yeah, we did a reporting on that.
In Zamfara?
Yeah, we did a reporting on that, and that was not necessarily a bandit attack. It was the local government that took responsibility for, cutting down those farm produce because of security concerns regarding operations in that area. So it was not as reported that.
Okay, I am from Kebbi. I can tell you that Lakura have taken over the villages in the local governments that in our boundary local governments within the Nigeria Republic. The Lakura people and some other armed bandits are ruining those villages. I'm talking about Arewa, I'm talking about Denji local government. The Lakura have taken over those places and nobody is doing anything. And just last week in Kebbi, they took some people as hostages.
Do you understand?
Security has not improved.
It's quite subjective, isn't it? Because the government also has its own data to say, okay, this is what we have done. And sometimes when it comes to security, there's a lot of information that the public does not necessarily have about what is going on.
The public has information, because if your uncle or your brother is picked up by kidnappers, then
I'm saying sometimes the information is limited to just what you experience. That's what the point I'm saying. So the government has an eagle eye view of the entire picture. That's
the universal view, you mean?
I mean, they obviously have a vantage point because they're the ones managing the security situation. But talk to me about this very concerning narrative from the northern part of the country, where the north seems to be the loudest region in terms of talking about national development, for instance, and there's this perception the north is always saying me, crying foul, or being the victim in the conversation, because the issues that the north is complaining about, whether it's insecurity or underdevelopment, these are national issues. The south also has issues around underdevelopment. The south also has challenges with unemployment, has challenges with insecurity. So why is the north trying to make it look like this is the only region that actually matters?
No, I think it's because let's be realistic. In practical terms, north is about the poorest part of the country. This is no brainer. You understand? I give you an example. During Buhari's region, for example, for every 1,000 naira you had, you spent only 107 naira or 200 naira to buy a liter of petrol, which means that you had 800 naira to maybe buy a measure of beans or rice to cook for your children. Now for every 1,000 naira you have, you spend 800 naira on a liter of petrol, and you are left with only 200 naira.
Yeah, but you have to talk about the trade-offs. the trade-offs back then was that we're indebting ourselves.
We are still indebting ourselves
to keep an unsustainable.
No, this is what is unsustainable. In fact, we have just come to the unsustainability. I don't know how and where you are going to repay $21 billion debt at once, or 15 billion yen, which you said you are going to use in agriculture. As the Japanese coming here to plant our rice, or the agbado that President Tinubu said he will provide, how do you just collect 15 billion yen from Japan and say you are going to invest in agriculture? What sort of agriculture? Look, the man in Benin Kebbi is looking for fertilizer, and he has been looking for fertilizer since June. This is August. July is finished. Yeah. July is finished. Are you going to give him fertilizer in August? You should have given him fertilizer in June or at the beginning of July, because people have already planted. I'm a farmer myself. People are looking for fertilizer. And I was talking about fuel. Look, during the rice season, you get your pumping machine, and then you buy fuel to feed the machine, and then to pump water into your rice. And I've just told you, for every 1,000 naira, you now buy fuel for 800 naira a liter. So how do you, for goodness sake, do dry season farming? So that's what the farmer in Kebbi needs. He needs affordable fuel, to be able to, power his water pumping machine and to water his rice. Then he needs also affordable fertilizer on time. You don't give people fertilizer in August. The rains are already there, and what will grow has already grown, and what will not grow will not grow. So look, the North is looking for, first and foremost, security. Security of people, security of property, and security of their farmlands. This is what the North is looking for. AKK is way behind already. I think it was supposed to be completed last year also. And you are still talking about AKK, and you just say it has caused the Naija. Finish AKK, provide the gas. Let's have solar power plants. Then from there, let emerging industries, get power supply to produce, so people can be employed.
Does the North need to learn to be patient, just like the rest of the country?
The North needs to be patient, but the trouble is that President Bola Ige has decidedly picked the North as his opposition. He has turned the North into the opposition. Look, we had the managing director of Hypertech, the hydro power plant producing areas development commission. We had somebody from Kebbi who just completed one tenure. Now, instead of renewing his tenure, or even giving it the next tenure to somebody from Kebbi or somebody from K, because you have started with K State, Naija is there, Kaduna is there, Kebbi is there, Benue is there, Oyo, but now he picked somebody from Oyo State. And that's a violation of the law, because as far as I'm concerned, Oyo is not part of Hypertech. So his attention was drawn. He said it will be sorted out in the National Assembly. How do you just jump from Kebbi to Oyo just because you want to replace an MD? So he's not giving us our dues. Okay. So that's why we're already impatient with him. And let me remind you, he used a religion to railroad us into supporting him. He said Muslim ticket. But it's Muslims who are catching hell under his administration. He used it? Of course he used it. I'm sure it's a lot more... No, that's what he used. He used it as a sentiment. He knew that our people will fall for it. Look, on the eve of his departure to Vatican, they announced shamelessly that 62% of his appointments were Christians. You don't say this. He's dividing the country. Okay. You don't say this. You don't announce it. You announce it gleefully, triumphantly. Who do you want to impress? Vatican? Right. Does Vatican vote for you? People
like Governor Obasani believes that the North is, playing the victim role in a very dishonest way. He believes
Obasani himself is dishonest.
He believes that
Obasani himself is dishonest.
There needs to be an introspective look where Northern leaders need to be held accountable for their mismanagement of the region. Don't you think that there is a valid point there?
It's a valid point, but what has he done to change the narrative?
Yeah, but the moment you say it's a valid point, you say it's a valid point, but you say but.
Yes.
If it's a valid point, isn't that where the conversation should start then?
We can start there, of course, but we also need to ask, what has Obasani himself delivered in 2 years? What has he delivered? He has all the money he needed.
You're focusing on the messenger, not the message.
No, I'm focusing on the message.
The most important thing?
I'm focusing on both the message and the messenger. I'm trying to say that Obasani himself has not used the advice that he has given to others? What can he boast of? What can he come out and say, I have changed the narrative in the health sector or in the education sector of Kaduna State? This was a person who had background in human rights activism. But now he has totally abandoned it because he has become a politician or because he has become Tinubu's lackey, Tinubu's Mom Friday, because he has his own agenda. He needs to discredit Nasir El-Rufai and those other ones.
So what about the point, though, that the North needs to have an introspective assessment of where it went wrong in terms of delivering the dividends of democracy to the people it represents? I'm talking about leaders at state level, leaders in the National Assembly, governors, local council chairmen, councillors.
I agree with you. Talking about governors, for example, I know that our governors are extravagant. I know that our governors are not accountable. I can talk about my own governor, Nasir Idris. You know, there was a Christian event in Kebbi, and Pastor Enenche went to Halil Abdu Stadium, you know, to convert, to win souls for Jesus, right? And a commissioner in the cabinet of Nasir Idris took raw cash inside Ghana must go, and in the full glare of the public, gave NHA the money. And NHA declined. So NHA said no. Take the money and use it for so purpose. So if you talk about my governor, for example, he's spending money recklessly. You understand? He will just tell you we have spent 6.5 billion on education. But I know, for example, the secondary school I went to, Government Secondary School in Kebbi, I know it has not improved. So you don't just throw away money and then think that you can solve a problem. So our governors are not accountable.
All right. Muslim!
Top of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make something very, very clear. I am a Muslim that did not do the Muslim ticket. I am a Muslim that is not going to vote the Muslim ticket. And I am a Muslim that is going to campaign against the Muslim ticket. There is no Islamic cleric that has the moral ground to come and tell me how Muslim I am to vote somebody. You do not have that moral ground. You are not God. Yes, and let me tell you people something. Gone past those days that you just come to the mosques and churches and say things to youth and then you think we're just going to accept it and go with it like that. Gone past those days. You can never put us in your contract. It's a contract. When I go collect on a contract, do it when I don't do it with our money. But do not bring us into this. Because I see no how somebody would go into the mosque and say that Muslim ticket. If you're a Muslim that is not supporting Muslim ticket, like you are is it that you are fighting God or something? Is that normal? That's why I said most of these guys are content creators. They are content creators. They create content. They go and show the content that they created, and then they give them money for their contents. We've gone past that level in this country. And to people in northern Nigeria and the whole of Nigeria, if you not like me, wanna go do them, wanna go vote them. Nobody wanna stomach. It's your stomach now. It's your well-being that you are actually trying to mess with. It's not a favor. It's not a favor. You are doing it for yourself. You are doing it for yourself and the generation that are actually coming. And somebody will just come and tell me something about one Muslim ticket, or you are trying to tell me how Muslim I am because of one this thing. Look at what this Islamic cleric said, that there is security in northern Nigeria, that the fact that he went to Kebbi and he came back and nothing happened to him, there is security. Because nothing happened, that's to tell you how selfish he is. How about the other people that are going to Kebbi and are being kidnapped? How about the other people that are going to Kebbi and they are finding themselves in the den of these bandits? Because it did not happen to you, it doesn't mean that it's not happening. Until everyone is safe, no one is safe. This is the type of country that we are actually operating in right now. If the government are doing good, wallahi, I'm going to come here and say the government are doing good. But when they are doing bad, let's collectively call a spade a spade. You should dare not come and use religion and think that we are going to fall for it again. It is not going to happen this time around. And this is the fastest election cycle that I've seen. And 2027 is around the corner. And just like I said, I am a Muslim that did not vote the Muslim ticket. I am a Muslim that is not going to vote the Muslim ticket. I am a Muslim that is going to campaign against the Muslim ticket. And as I'm talking to you right now, I do not have a candidate. Anybody that is going to be accountable is that person I'm going to vote for. Anybody that promised to change the status quo is that person I'm going to vote for. Not just promise. Make us believe, make us understand that what you are saying is actually what you are going to do. The same, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said that if he doesn't get us constant electricity in 4 years, we should not vote him in the next election cycle. That is enough for Nigerians not to vote you in the next election cycle. Look at the suffering. Look at the unprecedented insecurity that is happening everywhere in this country. So how do you want us to continue surviving? How do you want us to continue living our lives? And want some Islamic clerics and some Christian clerics will just come and start thinking they are going to brainwash us because you guys followed the back door in the villa and collected money. You are not going to do this with us this time around. Peace and love, man.